April 28th, the Monday, April 28th. Yes, I think I just looked at the calendar right here. Welcome to the two best hours of local live talk radio here at East Mississippi and West Alabama. And, of course, lots of things to talk about news-wise. What happened to you over the weekend? What happened to us over the weekend? The country? What happened to the world? Who knows? Let's just see what happened. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Roger B. Say hi to Mr. Rob Atkinson.
Hello.
Good to see you, sir.
Yeah.
And, of course, we are joined by Mr. Charles Frazier.
Good morning.
Yes, indeed, gentlemen. Good weekends?
Busy.
Yeah, busy.
Yep.
Really? Busy?
There ain't no it's work. Never stops.
Oh,
It does for Roger.
You were probably at some sporting events or something.
Yeah, baseball and all-star basketball all weekend. So
Man,
all day Saturday and all day yesterday. So what weekend? What weekend?
I tell you what, I like to see the mattress at his house that stuff all that money in that he gets
underneath the
on
mattress.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Have you seen the price of gas lately? Still hadn't gone down. No, just kidding. just kidding. Just kidding.
It
Buy
was
Tesla.
That's true. I could go Tesla. That's right.
Yes, we took a trip Friday over to Jackson, passed by the Tesla place. It was the glass was intact. There was no spray paint on the you
drinking water, did you?
No, I didn't drink it. Well, wait a minute now. No, I didn't get anything out of it.
You didn't go by the mayor's mansion over there and wish him well, since he's going to be out of a job soon.
Right. Good luck. Yeah.
No,
oh, sorry.
I did mention about that. Made a comment, I think, to the missus about the mayor being fired. But we go through Jackson, actually, up to Ridgeland. Ridgeland's where the medical appointment.
Unfortunately, a lot of people go through Jackson.
Through it, right?
Right through it.
Ain't stopping.
Like, please, Lord, let me get through here.
Roll up the windows. Okay.
Thinking of a comparison there. Would that be like the bowels of Mississippi? Wow. Things passing through?
I suppose, yeah.
I'm
Just a large intestine. The colon. What are we talking about?
Now they're dissing our state capital. I tell you what.
Well, you started it.
Well, the eggs tasted good till about 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, yeah, I've been through there. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's get back on track here. I guess the weekend, of course, they buried the pontiff.
Yeah, that was
happened?
Saturday. Yeah. And Trump took it upon himself to have a meeting with Zelensky while he was at the funeral.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to seize the opportunity.
Hey, I'm going to save us a little bit of gas, a little bit of fuel.
Yes.
We're just going to meet right here, so that you won't come back to Washington.
Well, I got a funeral over here. Let me just stop by and see.
Two birds, one stone. Why not?
While I'm in town.
I think it's a great idea.
Very smart. Very smart. Okay. I think that was a good idea.
Yeah, they set up like two chairs and they're like facing each other, and Trump's like leaning like right up in Trump.
It was kind of like a big room with two chairs right next to each other.
Like the biggest photo op opportunity of all time.
Yeah. Now, Russia, Vladimir Putin, he celebrated by launching a drone attack on Ukraine during the weekend.
What a better way to celebrate.
Now, it says, according to the record here, it says Ukrainian air defense, the UAD, intercepted 57 drones, while 67 others failed in mid-flight.
Wow. So how many did they launch?
Well, it says they sent 149. So
that's what happens when you get
cheap. Most of them
cheap Chinese products.
That's right.
Yeah, but
shoot them down with your Chinese guns.
Where did we get these drones from? China, and we are allies with China.
Well,
Yes.
the problem is the instructions are in Chinese. So
there you go.
Who knows how to how to work?
Same as my cell phone.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you've got. At least they're good at printing several languages in your.
You just got to find English. Where is it?
Yeah.
You always get an instruction manual. Now, why is this thing so thick? Well, it's got 12 languages. You have to thumb through.
Got 12 languages. It does not. I will say this, folks. If you do buy an electronic device, the instruction manual does not come with a magnifying glass. You'll have to get your own.
Yeah.
They are
several.
Pretty small writing. I've noticed that one time.
Smaller and smaller.
Anybody who's ever read the instructions, raise your hand. No hands here in the studio.
Who stops and asks for directions?
I know where I'm going. Bridge is out. That's all right. That sign's been there for years. It's okay.
Google told me to go this way.
That's true. Nobody stops anyway because you've got Google Maps right there. Telling you where to go. You hope and trust. There's a lot of faith in that, isn't there?
Well, it does reroute you sometimes in very not so convenient places, roads. I mean,
But it reroutes based on traffic patterns and so on.
It does some of that,
it's,
yeah.
I'm going to save you money. It seems like it's a longer way, but well, not money, time. But it seems like a long way, but it's shorter. Anyway.
Yeah, it did that to us our last trip to Florida. We were on the interstate, and it said, "Get off this." Why are you making us get off this exit? Because there was a wreck up ahead, and traffic was backed up. I was like, "Well, look at Google doing their thing there." So,
well, how about that?
and then warning you about a police officer up there. So yeah, they have that on there too. Yeah.
Can be legal.
Do you want to know why I pulled you over? Yes, officer. It's because Google didn't alert me to your presence.
Yeah,
That's why you pulled me over.
Failed. Yeah.
I didn't look at the Google. Oh, I'm telling you. All right. Well, we're glad you're out there, folks. We want you to be part of the show. We give our number out there so boldly and bravely, 601-485-9191. Call us and let us know what's going on in your world today.
Tomorrow's the big day. It's the first 100 days is officially tomorrow for Donald J. Trump.
And how convenient that CNN has just come up with a very incriminating poll of his success rate, his popularity rate.
Oh,
CNN, no less.
Oh, no!
Yeah. CNN
What are we
reporting.
gonna do?
Did you hear that news report coming in here? The CNN poll having the
No.
lowest of any president in their first 100 days.
Who did they ask?
Yeah.
I think they just went around the office.
We'll go to
around the
Go to Minnesota. We'll ask everybody in San Francisco, and what do y'all think?
Hey, we're doing a poll for the president's 100 days. How many?
Awful! Just awful!
Show of hands. Okay. Nobody.
All right, we're good. We polled them.
The CNN poll, and you could. I mean, you think about it. What's a poll? A poll is whatever they say they surveyed.
Something to keep your eyes on the television.
Oh,
But in their case, nobody's watching.
Well, if they're releasing a
Sometimes
poll,
I
maybe
feel
they'll
like-
hope to get some, get some viewers.
They need more than just the poll.
we could change that rock song that says, "Sometimes I feel like nobody's watching me."
Rockwell.
I think they probably feel that a lot. Yeah.
Is that Rockwell that did that?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, so tomorrow's the 100-day mark for the Trump presidency, and we noticed a while ago that Pam Bondi was there at the White House lawn doing an interview. They have signs like you see the campaign signs all over town. It's like arrested signs of all of the since he's taken office here. So they're putting that all over the White House lawn. I was like, no, this is not a coroner race. This is all the people they arrested.
I'm not voting for that guy.
I'm
He
not
looks a
voting for
little
that guy.
dodgy.
He looks a little weird
I don't like
there.
his tattoos.
And now you got all these people protesting in Wisconsin with what that judge did. I'm pretty sure you saw that, where she basically escorted that illegal out of her courtroom in the back door, and they cuffed her and sent her off to jail. So
That's always kind of nice when that happens.
yeah, absolutely.
That's always
Cuffing
kind
and
of
the
nice.
jailing. Yes.
And of course, what was the state that was, what they say up in Denver, they were not going to be cooperative with ICE and all the rest. And what happens up there but a huge bust at a nightclub of, drugs and illegals and
It's amazing.
all the rest.
Amazing how that happens.
It is amazing, especially since Denver had that entire apartment complex. That
Yeah,
was
the
taken
apartment
over by the
complex
gang.
story,
I mean,
yeah.
that was a big
s-
that they would welcome that.
Yeah, that was a big story during the campaign too. So a lot of people, well,
Crazy
some
people.
people talked
Yeah.
about it.
They're all high.
I'm
smoking that
thinking
legal
about
weed.
adopting Tom Holman into our family. I'd like him to come for Thanksgiving. And
I don't. You think he'd be? Is he up for adoption? I mean, is he on the list? Or
just-
the Buttigieg, the white people have to. I think get a discount. No, you have to pay more for them. That's what that's Buttigieg. I don't know
Okay.
if you heard that.
I-
It's talking about
that's-
adopting kids and now on.
Oh, okay.
No, it's the different rates for different races.
How much for this color?
Oh wow!
No idea.
Yeah.
But
Old
how much for
pothole
Tom?
feet.
How much for Tom Homan? What's he going for these
What's he
days?
going for?
I don't think I'd want to adopt him.
Oh, mercy. Well, there was also Wisconsin. Was that the one you're talking about? The Milwaukee County Circuit
Yeah, the judge,
Hannah Dugan, arrested by the FBI at her courthouse late Friday on a federal obstruction charges. She is accused of assisting Eduardo Flores Ruiz, an undocumented immigrant, in evading arrest by the U.S. Okay, aiding and abetting. You just have to watch My Cousin Vinny and know that that's the bad thing. Aiding and abetting. So there you go. Judge Dugan allegedly questioned the validity of the warrant. How dare you? The agents they directed the agents to consult with the chief judge. She reportedly then allowed Flores Ruiz and his attorney to exit the courtroom through the private jury door, enabling him to temporarily avoid arrest. Temporarily, of course.
Pretty much sneaking out.
Judge Dugan has been charged with 2 felony counts, obstructing and impeding a proceeding before a federal department or agency. Okay, well, I guess are we at a point now where we're learning that judges are not themselves above the law?
Well, you had that other story. What was it in New Mexico? I think we talked about it Wednesday or Thursday of last week. That former judge, they had an illegal immigrant in their home, and well, they raided him, and then they arrested the couple for basically doing what this judge is doing, is aiding and abetting an illegal immigrant. You harboring them. So it's like, come on, man, it's the law. So. But judges think they're above the law.
There's too many others.
They're issuing all these rulings. They're, blocking a lot of what the Trump administration is trying to do. So I think the judges feel like they have all the power and control right now. But most do not.
And, but I think it brings up a good question. Now, what is the process of, so they arrest somebody for being illegal, which in itself is a crime, granted. But, what is the determining factor for sending them back to wherever it is? I mean, do they have extenuating circumstances? Obviously, asylum is one. If you've got political asylum, or if you feel threatened in your home country, you can prove that, and then you can be granted that temporary asylum. And there's a path towards permanent residency and then citizenship. But for everybody else, is it just a sweeping? Everybody's going. That's it. You're illegal. I don't know. Posing the question.
Well, and the thing about it is the process too is what it is, but then again, the backlog of how many folks are within that process and how clogged up it is, and how much time goes by where you'll be able to get those folks in front of a hearing and all this other kind of stuff. What do they say if you were to do all of this process with all, just not the folks that have been arrested, but folks like that? I mean, we could talk about 10, 15, 20 years before you get all these people.
Millions of people.
Exactly.
Millions.
So, and that's the other problem, is the process to do everything by the book is clogged up in the system. So, yeah. That's the unfortunate.
Well, there's got to be
part.
some way to streamline that, where you have kind of a committee that says, okay, you've got gang tats, forget it, you're out of here. But beyond that,
wow,
you've been working 30 years as a mechanic. I mean, you're actually a productive member of society here.
Do you like an expedited process? Get them all in line. All right, we're gonna have a 2-minute hearing. All right, here we go.
Facial tattoo. Anybody with a facial tattoo, you're out.
Gone.
Automatically.
Next,
See you later.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Okay, let's put you over
it's
here.
It's like triage. You know what I mean? You're getting rid of the worst first. I mean, come on. Out. Yep. Anyway, MS-13 tattooed on your forehead.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work.
Unless you get that quick tattoo that says MS-18. It's different.
18.
You've got Sharpie and fill in
Just
the 3.
fill in the 3. There you go.
It's MS.
No, we're the good guys. We're the good guys.
We're the ones going after 13. We're greater.
Yeah, math. Doing some good illegal immigrant math there. 18 minus 13. Oh, mercy. Okay, speaking of, I'd like to invite somebody who's been heavily tattooed and just kind of ask, what it's like to be able to sit there and have all that done. And it must not be that painful. I've never had a tattoo, so it must not be that painful to have. Oh, wait a minute.
I got one.
I forgot. Rob's got his shoulder decorated there.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Come on, show Facebook. Are we Facebooking today?
Yeah.
All right, come on, show it up, Rob. Come on, own it, own it.
Yep.
Mississippi State University, MSU.
Okay.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt
You
too
had
bad.
that done after the championship. Right?
Yeah, on a bet.
On a bet.
Man of my word.
All right.
So you bet against state?
No, I just said if they ever won the national title, I would get one.
Okay.
So they did it. So I was like, crap, I got to go get one now.
That's a good lesson, and be careful what you say.
Exactly.
Well, what state? You figure there's no way
Exactly.
they're ever going to win.
That's why I said it.
Come on.
There's no way it's ever going to happen.
Don't worry, honey. I'm not going to be tattooed. There's not going to be anything.
It's a
It's
safe
never going to
bet.
happen.
No.
Now,
what
if
happened?
you bet on Alabama, and it was every time they won.
Yeah,
you'd be covered.
I would
right?
look like MS-13.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
You'd be
very
deported.
very well. It's done. It's colored. You got the
Yeah.
maroon, of course. Now, do you relate to us the pain level that you experienced while it was being done?
The tattoo artist told me that if you get it done like on that area, like where it's on my shoulder, you got a little bit more tissue right there. It doesn't hurt as bad. Now, if you were to get something like right here on your forearm, that's a thin area, like as far as tissue goes, and that would hurt a lot more. So, like the fattiness of whatever part of your body you get tattooed on. These people have sleeves, and I'm like, I don't know how y'all do that. So,
Well, I guess if I have one, I'll put it right there in my stomach. Go for the fattiest part.
Won't feel a thing, will you?
Won't feel a thing.
Didn't hurt at all.
Hey, you want to see my tattoo?
and plus, if you're getting your very first one, there's a lot of you're kind of already juiced up anyway, adrenaline kind of flowing a little bit, so you have that kind of going against the needle going into
Juiced up. Was there alcohol involved in this?
possibly.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Like primitive dentistry, here, take a drink. We're going to pull this
I
too.
suppose, yeah.
Right here, hang on a second.
So how long did it take to get that MSU done?
About 45 minutes. 45 minutes. To an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
So you can get inked that fast?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it took the baseball team, 100 years to
Exactly.
get the national
It'll
championship?
probably take them another
So,
100
yeah.
years to win another one.
45 minutes for the tad. That's not bad.
100,
Do you have any other bets out there?
No.
Pending?
No.
I quit betting
No.
after that. Yeah.
You shut your mouth.
The folks at Lamar want you to take a wager.
Nope. Not doing it.
Should have wagered on when Sanders would go in the draft.
Ooh.
Well.
You had to go there.
Hey, come on. We got to talk about that.
Who talked the coach's son into doing the prank phone call?
Some of the Ole Miss frat boys up there with him, I'm sure. I mean, come on now. No, he was a student at Ole Miss, or is a
So
student at Ole Miss.
what was I couldn't figure out what the prank call was. What was the prank call to Sanders?
It was
saying that he wasn't
just
gonna be
saying that. No, I think it was an interested party. Posing as a GM of a football team, saying, "Hey, we're going to draft you in the next round. Are you interested, or whatever?" I don't know exactly what the conversation was, but led Sanders to believe that he would be drafted sooner than he was.
Mm-hmm. Then I saw the video where Sanders hangs up the phone and he says, "What does that mean?"
Yeah, the kid
Sounded like a kid.
Yeah, the guy's name is Jax Ulbrich. He's 21 years old. He somehow got the number and called him and
Because his dad's a coach.
says he was
Left on his iPad, yeah.
impersonating the New Orleans Saints general manager Mickey Loomis.
Oh.
And the caller told Sanders, "We're going to take you with our next pick." And that confused Sanders. Asked the crowd gathering for his draft party, "What does this mean?" And he was kind of confused. And of course, the Saints did not pick him, as he went later on in the 5th round to the Cleveland Browns. So,
Well, and then they tried to, to make the prank caller. He's such an evil person to do this. I mean, I guess since he really didn't know him, it was kind of sinister. But I mean, who hasn't done a prank call on somebody in their days? Let's see a show of hands. Who has not done? Who has not done a prank call in their lifetime? I don't see any hands in the studio.
I mean, I do them on a daily basis,
including our
radio
next
show.
guest, Angela Bernard, who's sitting in the wing chair.
Her hands were down. Just
So
let the record show.
we'll be finding out next segment what prank call she made and what it involved. Though that's, but anyway,
well, a lot of people are asking,
it made the news, I guess.
Why did he go so far back in the draft? Well, here's the reason why. There was 2 reasons. They said a lot of the they always do the pre-draft process where they interview the kids and they do the workouts. And they said when he would sit down for an interview, they said the cockiness, the entitlement, just the I don't care attitude rubbed a lot of coaches and GMs the wrong way. And plus, you're the son of Deion Sanders, who's the biggest loudmouth out there.
Well,
and he would be a lot of baggage to carry too, and being the son. So,
and 2 points on that. One of them was during one of the interviews that Sanders received a FaceTime call, answered the call, and then continued to talk on the call as he was being interviewed. And so that was one major one. The second was that Deion said that he is going to go to the meetings with Sanders and make sure that he's the starting quarterback. I mean, let the process play out.
You
let
better
the kid
let
show
my
what he can
son
do.
play.
Right, he doesn't play second fiddle to anybody or something. It was a quote similar to that, but that he was going to be involved with the process. So if I'm a Cleveland Browns, I'm like, don't let him in. We're not paying him anything, you know.
Well, wasn't Barry Sanders the first one to say that this is show business? I mean, they call it sports, but it's show business, and he makes this point to make it show business.
It is show business, but it's a business. And so what these owners are doing is what's the best way for them to win and make more money. And they obviously felt that he was not a suitable player for them as far as in gelling with the rest of the team to create the wins that they need.
When they hire him, you're hiring a diva, so to speak.
Well,
you're bringing on a lot of problems with a lot of talent, though. The kid is talented. There's no denying that.
And bottom line is, this kid needs to learn a lesson. Humble yourself and work hard now, and put a chip on your shoulder, and maybe that'll work out for you in the end. But if he doesn't do that, guess what? He's going to be riding the bench his whole life.
Yeah.
So no matter
be a Johnny Manziel.
No matter who his dad is.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, based on the attitude and everything you describe, he's deserving of a prank call. I mean, come on, people.
Let's get his number.
I would agree. Let's call him right now.
Well, yeah.
Maybe we can ask Jack Solrick if he's got the number.
See if Jack's. We're gonna call up and rescind the draft.
Yeah, rescind the draft.
Okay, there you go.
Do what?
All right, it must be getting close to the 1st of May because Angela Bernard is in the house. She makes prank phone calls. We'll find out. And playing some doobies just because. No birthdays on their part. I looked at the birthday list this morning, and it's getting bad. You know you're getting old, or whatever you know. You look at the music birthday list, and you don't recognize anybody.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Not one. Okay.
So I just skipped that. I said I'll pick some songs I like there, like some Doobie Brothers, What a Fool Believes. Or, what's the name? Sanders? What a Fool Believes. We're just glad you're out there tuned in to our program. This program, by the way, enjoyed a great lunch yesterday at the Magnolia Restaurant.
That's right. Inside the Queen City Truck Stop, exit 150.
Chose the hamburger steak.
Good
Gravy,
choice.
onions and gravy, and then some mac and cheese to go with that, because you got to have the mac and cheese.
Got to.
You know, you just got to do the mac and cheese.
You got to. There's
And
no
of course,
choice. They bring it to you anyway. You will have the mac
and I had a choice between the banana pudding or the house salad. I went with the house salad.
What?
Oh,
I
get
did.
it.
What kind of choice is that?
Salad. I felt like I needed to graze a little bit.
Okay, well, banana pudding has bananas in it. I mean, it's healthy. Come on now.
I know it.
You
Get outta
missed
here.
out. Yeah.
You sit on the lawn and think about this.
We just own him. That's it. All right. Anyway, you can always get the hamburger steak, especially today at lunch. And they got the fried chicken. They got pot roast today. That sounds
Gonna have to go
great.
back.
Yeah, we might have to. And, of course, they've got the beef tips over rice, the veggie plates, the Biggie Burger. How big is it, Rob?
Huge.
It's the humongous hamburger. And if you're going for breakfast, they have the long-haul breakfast. That will keep you going all day long. Whether you're a long-haul truck driver, you just got a long Monday ahead of you. Go see them, exit 150. But if you got a lunch break, give them a call, 601-482-0259. By the time you get up there, the food is hot and fresh, ready to go. Bring it back to your desk and enjoy. It's just that easy, and it's just that delicious. Go see them. Magnolia Restaurant inside the Queen City Truck Stop, exit 150.
All right, it's Mornings in Meridian. We're happy to have with us Angela Bernard. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Well, great. Thanks for stopping in our studio this morning.
You're welcome.
You, when I see you, it reminds me that we've already gone through several days of the previous month, because that means
You've gone by quick.
that's because we're already at the 1st of May, and the first weekend of May, the first Saturday of May means there is Earth Bounty.
That's right, Earth's Bounty. I know it's already almost May, and I can't believe it. My daughter graduates from high school in 4 weeks.
Wow.
Well,
know.
congratulations to, what's her first name again?
Iris.
Iris. Well, congratulations, Iris.
Yes.
That's quite a milestone. It's get the diploma, and where's she going to go after that?
That's the $1 million question.
That's okay. It doesn't have to be answered today.
But May 1st.
Iris, it does not have to be answered today.
No, but May 1st is the deadline for a lot of them, so she has to make up her mind soon.
Wednesday.
Well, that's Wednesday.
Yes, I know. We're all like waiting with bated breath.
Well, she could go to MSU and get a tattoo in her arm. And
Yeah, right. I'm a great example.
Don't do that. Don't be like Rob.
Don't do like me.
bad
No.
boy.
Bad.
No,
So
but-
that's cool. Well, that's
Yeah.
So now, and on a personal note, I mean, does that mean that you'll be traversing away from this area after she graduates?
Yes, that's what that means.
Oh,
I'll
wow.
be moving to North Carolina in July. So I'm around for a little bit longer, but not.
Joining her
much.
husband, who is
Yes.
at I forgot the venue up there.
He's the theater director for the city of High Point, North Carolina.
High Point.
Yes. So nice area.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet, but that's what everybody tells me.
Everybody says it's nice. I haven't been there.
I mean, it's
I'll
high-
let you
Hope
know.
they're right.
Yeah, it's High Point. I mean, you know.
What you can do
Not the low point.
Yeah,
I mean,
right. Exactly.
sometime in June, call the show and let us know what you find when you get up there. Say, they were right. This is beautiful. Or I can't believe they sold me this bill of goods.
Well, here's the thing, I was a military brat, and so I
Oh,
didn't have a hometown. And with his career, we moved around a lot. And actually, I've lived in Meridian for almost 6 years, and that's the second longest place I've ever lived in my entire life.
Wow.
And so Meridian has kind of become home for me, and it's hard to leave.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be the case. Well, I tell you what, Dan, if you're streaming this morning, she might just be staying here for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, let you commute back from High Point there.
Yeah. So
Anyway, all right. Well,
So, yeah.
there you have it. Well, of course, you've been very good at coming in and promoting Earth's Bounty and what's going on there. So kind of give us a preview of what's to be expected on Saturday morning.
Okay, so, it's our second official Earth's Bounty at the Max, in the courtyard of the Max. We made that move last month, and so, we're putting that out there because, people are creatures of habit, and so if you go down to Singing Bregman Park, there won't be anybody there. At least not us. So
Be the guy with a sign, not here. Go to the Max.
right. And so we're a couple blocks down the road. We're supposed to have great weather. April and May markets are always lovely for the weather, although you can sort of feel the heat and the humidity creeping in. But it's supposed to be 81 and partly cloudy, so that'll be great. It's May, so that's our Master Gardener Spring Plant Sale. They'll have all their plants there to sell, and the Master Gardener Plant Sale is great because most of those plants were either started by the Master Gardeners or are divisions from their own yard, so that they're going to do well in our area. It's not the big box stores bring in from wherever, and sometimes it's a crapshoot whether they're going to work or not. So these guys
Let
and
it
gals.
be said that the big box stores bring in crap. That's what she
That's
said.
a direct quote.
That's a quote. So
Yes,
Yeah.
well,
come get it from the locals and get the good stuff.
I'll stand by that quote.
I agree with her. I mean,
I stand by it.
100%. Yeah.
But these people are also trained by MSU Extension, and so they can answer your questions about your plants, your yard, your garden. So even if you don't need anything, come by and pick their brain. This is also our second market to have what we have branded the Art Farm. You may remember that we used to have the Art Walk that was run by not the city. It was a private individual, and that kind of disbanded. And so we've brought it back under the umbrella of Earth's Bounty, and we're calling it the Art Farm. And they will be set up on the sidewalk outside the Max, and it's curated, it's juried, pottery, handmade goods. I believe there might be a woodworker coming this month. And so just kind of a word that seems to be tossed around a lot lately, but elevated. It's not crafts per se, but it's legitimate art. And so last month it was very well received. So they will be back.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm a little offended to think that my popsicle stick birdhouse would not be considered art.
It is by the birds. The birds love it. Yeah.
I was just wondering.
Okay.
Yeah.
So someone appreciates it.
All this elevated art.
Elevated, right? This is not quite elevated.
Well, send us your pictures and we'll talk about it. But
It's amazing what you can do when you cut plastic bottles, and you can make a nice rose bouquet.
Keep
out of
working
it.
on that.
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, that's what my daughter went to school for at Mississippi School for the Arts, art. And art is very subjective, and you can not win ever in that department. But, you can have a certain level of standard, and that's what we're trying for here.
Well, that's good. That's going to be an art farm outside the gate there at the
Yes.
Max, and on the inside of the courtyard is going to be the normal.
Our regular vendors, our baked goods.
Get the good plants, not the crap.
That's right.
Where do you get those?
Our local food vendors, kid farms may have cabbage and potatoes. It's still a little early for the produce. That's usually really hits in June. And we have a cold pressed juice person coming. Fox Hill Farm still has some of their farm raised, local grazed beef that they harvested this past winter.
Now we're going to have beef juice. Is that what I hear?
No, the cold pressed juice.
Oh, okay. I just was trying to follow you there.
That's au jus. That's what that is.
Au jus,
Au
okay.
jus.
I was about to say, good Lord.
I know, Charles. The only reason I do that because I know I can get her to laugh. Okay, that's just
Beef
part
juice.
of it.
Yeah. I like a little bit of that.
We always
good
have
math.
musicians.
Ah,
So this time we have Matthew India Nicholson he's the lead guitarist for the Family Gathering. He'll be our musician this week.
fantastic.
And then of course it's First Saturday, so the Max is open to the public. So once you get done shopping with us, you can go in there or vice versa, see the exhibits, use the bathroom, whatever you need to do. So that's a win-win for moving to the Max, is that you can hit both at the same time.
There you
Use
go.
the bathrooms.
Awesome.
That's key.
Yes, about. Well, yeah. I mean,
It really is. Yeah. If I'm there with my wife, it must
Well,
be. That's the first thing we scout out. Where's the bathroom?
That is, I think it's the ladies are very good about making sure they have a plan, but where you're going to get.
That's
it.
right.
yes,
That's very smart.
yes, and we did have the city porta potty at Hearst Bounty, but it's not the same.
July.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And April's
exactly.
bad enough. I mean, come
July,
on.
August.
Oh, that's where it's really rough. Yeah. How long can you hold your breath? That's really the challenge.
But if you decorated it, it would be artsy.
It would be,
You
yes.
could make on the outside. Don't decorate the inside. Well, you guys do that.
Okay. Moving right
Oh,
along.
I
right
think that's a
along.
great idea.
No, it's serious, folks. It's that time for it'd be the first Saturday, of course. It's the second overall,
For our
Earth
season.
Bounty for the season. So, and I think the watchword there is to get there early.
Yes, we always, in all of our Facebook posts, if you notice, we always say come early for the best selection, and that really is true, especially for the produce, the eggs.
And plus,
They
you get
go
to watch the
quickly.
fights. Come early and watch the fights.
That's Walmart.
For the
What are you
good stuff.
talking
Oh.
about?
Oh,
And they're fighting.
that's a big box store
Yeah,
there.
right.
Okay.
No fights there.
Well, very good. Earth Bounty this Saturday, and it starts at 8 o'clock.
Starts at 8 o'clock.
Okay, and of course,
Goes to noon.
downtown, of course, if you want to have a good lunch, right around the corner is a pretty good restaurant there. So, forget the name of it, but it's there.
Much for the W.
That's right, it does.
Suggesting. I don't know. I'm not sure what you're talking
We have a Whataburger now?
about. We do what?
Say
White
what?
burger.
Weidman burger.
With their spicy ketchup.
Very good, very good. All right, Angela, on a different topic, what prank phone call did you make?
Well, I was in the room, but it was at a junior high party.
Oh, aiding and abetting, huh?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I've been on the receiving end. Some guys called me in my class and told me that I won a radio contest and I had to do all this stuff. And in high school, I actually was on the receiving end of an obscene phone call. So
Oh.
That sounds like fun.
Which one did you listen to the longest?
Yeah.
Oh, mercy. We were so sophomoric, I guess, when I was
Yeah.
doing that.
yeah,
We did the old, working on the phone line call. You heard about that one?
yeah.
We had a girl who was very, very gullible, sweet lady. I still know her to this day. She's married to a great friend of mine, but she's very gullible, and I just called up and said, we're with the phone company. We're going to be working on the line, so please don't answer your phone for the next 10 minutes. Could cause damage to the person working on the line. And this is like happy days stuff, So called up and about 2 minutes later, and she answers the phone. Hello, and you go, ah! Made her feel so bad. Anyway, great. Great.
I like that one.
Can't do that now
I can
because
start using that one.
no, we don't have phone lines anymore.
The kid, they'd be like,
People
"What's
will
that?"
believe
What is that?
Working on the cell phone tower.
Yeah,
Don't
well,
answer.
Exactly. You gotta change. You gotta modernize.
Yeah, she was so tore up by that. Anyhow, but that wasn't not in the obscene category.
No.
No, but instead of making a call though, you were just in the room when one was made.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the topic of that one?
I don't remember.
It was just schoolgirls having fun. Yeah.
It was the guys having fun.
Oh.
It was one of the first mixed parties my parents let me go to.
Oh, very good.
Oh.
All right, we're not going to ask you any more questions
Yeah,
about it
that's
now.
it. Okay.
Because-
Change the subject. Dangerous
And
territory.
so this was, you were what, 25?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking about how parents,
Practically.
try to keep their hands on you.
Well,
there.
my dad was military and he was 6'5", and so I didn't.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I dare the man who would,
He intimidated a lot of boys. Yeah.
Yeah. It says a lot about Dan.
It does, actually. It
That
does.
says a lot about Dan.
It does.
Good. He can stand up to him. Well, we had a lot of fun here. Folks, it's all about Earth's Bounty, and of course it is taking place this weekend. It's going to be at the Max in the courtyard, and there's going to be an art farm on the sidewalk, so there's not going to be anybody doing like caricatures, are there, where they'll be Like if
not that I'm aware of.
yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
no, we
kinda
haven't
fun,
talked about
wouldn't
that,
it?
but that might be fun to have.
Where like if Charles wanted to sit and get a caricature of himself, he could put
Yeah.
it on the
Boy,
hallway
that
there in the
be
restaurant.
almost as much fun as maybe a mime there. I mean,
We have had, at Night Market, we have had, his name escapes me, but we have in our community a guy who has Emmys for doing cartoons and like
Oh.
animated
Yes,
stuff. Well,
he
I can't
actually-
remember his
yeah,
name, but
no.
yeah, he's been there before. Mhm.
That'd be cool. All right. Well, it's all happening this weekend. It's May 1, or
May
it'll be
3rd.
3rd. May 1 is before 3rd. That's wait a minute. Then there's Cinco de
Before the
Mayo.
2nd.
Well,
Yeah,
hey.
that's my day.
Oh, hey, and then Wings and Tails on the 6th. Wow.
So, and May is gonna fly by.
We're getting ready to break loose here in the Queen City. All right. Well, Angela Bernard, thank you so much for coming in.
Always a pleasure.
And always a pleasure. Thanks for kind of having fun with us as we also just do not a normal interview, something fun. We're going to take a break, come back with more of Mornings in Meridian. Our number here, 601-485-9191. No prank calls, please. Mornings in Meridian. Hope you're having a good morning so far on this Monday. It's Monday, Rob.
Yep.
It's Monday.
yeah,
Here we
thanks
go.
for the reminder.
I know it. Hey, but it will pass quickly. We're already.
Then we'll be on Tuesday, which is much better. but
That's right.
It's a slight improvement.
There's Tom.
Tom Holman is on the monitor, Fox News monitor here at this station.
Yeah, big news while we were doing the interview there with Angela. Trump is signing executive orders today on sanctuary cities and law and order. The sanctuary city order will direct Attorney General Pam Bondi and the DH Secretary Kristi Noem to publish a list of these jurisdictions who buck immigration laws. So yeah, they're having a big not hearing, but a big question and answer deal right now at the White House. And before they started the press conference, they put in each one of the chairs for the media, even the mainstream media, all the pages of all of the ones who've been arrested by ICE, and be like, since you're not talking about them, here you go. It's like put them all in their chairs before the press conference
Isn't that
started.
cool?
Wow, it's a lot of paper.
And Tom Homan is up there too, so they're all just like, ooh. oh, this is so, ooh.
Boy, I wonder if we should break in. That's just, but anyway.
Yeah, so, but...
Okay, well, I like that. So, what would be the point then? I guess of publishing the jurisdictions that aren't complying with, or is it the sanctuary cities, or just people that aren't complying? What was the publication there?
The executive order is on sanctuary cities law and order. The sanctuary city order will direct Pam Bondi and Christy Nome to publish a list of these jurisdictions who basically are not following the immigration laws associated with the executive order. So, Boston is one of those. I think imagine they're going to be at the top of the list because we know how the mayor there in Boston feels about
Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, Denver. There's going to be a lot of them.
I bet San Francisco's on that list somewhere.
There's going to be a lot of them.
I bet they are.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well,
Well,
what's the point of doing that, though? The people who live there already know that they're sanctuary cities, and they probably support that, though.
Places not to move to.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe this.
Or, if they correlate crime rate with those sanctuary cities and say, look at this. We've got these 17 cities that are sanctuary cities, and they also have a higher crime rate than, various other cities of similar size. So,
But as far as those signs that we talked about on the lawn of the White House, you always see, no matter what channel you watch, Newsmax, Fox, CNN, whatever it is, you always have the reporter there on the lawn at the White House, no matter what angle you are at today on the White House lawn. If you're doing one of those little 30-second hits there on the lawn, you're going to have those signs in the background. MSNBC is completely melting down this morning over the fact that we can't do the hit from the White because they got those signs up. What are we doing?
MS-13, MSNBC. I don't know if there's a correlation.
But how, you just got to have to chuckle at that a little bit.
I do.
It's hilarious.
I think it's hilarious.
Rachel Morin, she had 5 children. Those children are never going to see their mom again. This administration is doing the right thing. Every public safety threat we arrest from this country and move them, this country is much safer. So parents will make a decision what happens to their child. Having a U.S. citizen child does not make you immune from our laws. If that's the message we send the entire world, enter the country legally. It's a crime. Don't worry about it. Get order removed by an immigration judge. Don't worry about it. No one's looking for you. And have a U.S. citizen child, and you're immune from our laws, you're never going to fix the border. People will keep putting themselves in harm's way. More women would die. More children would die crossing this border. We got a secure border by enforcing laws. We're not making this up. We're enforcing laws under statute enacted by Congress, and it's the right thing to do.
Come on.
That's live Mr. Holman right there at the White House.
But what do you think is the idea behind posting all of these names and essentially giving everybody a packet of everybody they've done? They are well behind the law in this. They don't have to market to anybody. They don't have to convince anybody that what they're doing is the right thing. And of course, if they are trying to convince people, they're trying to convince the wrong people because they're never going to go to that side. So
I guess that
what's the point of all this?
I guess the point that immediately comes to my mind is that you remove any excuse not to cover this story because the information is basically handed to you.
Well, because 10% of that room right now is covering this, and the rest of them is the mainstream media and all the liberal networks are not even touching it.
But
with
who
10
cares
poll.
if they're covering it or not? What they're doing is the right thing. And,
Well, I mean,
there's a lot of other things.
But it just once again displays what we've all known all along, just how corrupt the media is and not covering everything independently like they should be.
Right.
Well,
And
it's
fair enough,
really more of a corrupt is strong, and there's probably some of that, but it's a partisan media. I mean, it's really basically a partisan media now. And so Fox and Newsmax, these are your pro-Trump medias. CNN, all these are the anti.
That, but keep doing your job and don't worry about marketing how well of a job you're doing. I mean, that's what I don't really.
Let the
I don't
product
see.
speak for itself. You say.
Well, or not. Just do what you said you were going to do. You don't have to publicize it. I mean, you can and talk about it, but to put all the pictures up seems a little bit gratuitous.
And unfortunately, we live in a society now where you have to market stuff because everybody lives with social media as their news, and people are going to share those photos so much today. They'll be like, why do they have all those photos on the White House lawn today? Because they don't watch the networks. They don't watch the cable news or anything like that.
But that's what I'm saying. Why get the message out to anybody? What's the ultimate goal?
I want to thank PT for chiming in here. He says tourism dollars. People might be affected about whether I visit that city or not, that kind of thing. We are a couple of minutes into Fox News. Should we join them or just keep talking?
Nah, we're fine. We're good.
No, we're fine.
Bob
We're good.
says no. Okay.
Well, there is a spot coming up here in about 15 seconds, so we'll join that. We'll come back. This will give me a chance to refresh my coffee and, see if I can do something about that bunion that's on my foot.
Yeah.
And we'll be back. Stay tuned.
If you're living with dry, age-related macular degeneration,
Roger here, along with, say, Mr. Rob. Rob's here. And that other guy is Charles Frazier.
Yep, that's me.
Good to see you all once again. Well, the news conference is still going on with Mr. Holman and what's going on there in Washington. So we'll just kind of pay attention to that. But you kind of get the breaking news that, yes, they're taking this whole illegal immigrant thing quite seriously.
I'm so shocked they're doing this. Well, they said they were going to do it the whole time, moron.
Well, let's see. President Trump is basically doing what he proposed when he was campaigning. So his favorability ratings, all the rest, I'm not sure where you come up with all those numbers, but it depends on who you listen to, whether it's a Fox poll or a CNN poll. First 100 days, how do you guys feel? What do you think? How do you think he's done?
I mean, issue by issue, you'd have to break it down in 100 days, but it's been so. I will say this for him. I think we can all agree. I don't think we've ever seen this much just go this fast in 100 days, I think. So as we get ready for that mark tomorrow,
Yeah, I think that shutting the border down was key, and that's what he's done. He's been very effective in that, and that's one thing that he said he would do. And I think that's stemming the tide of all this illegal immigration is great. I do think that there needs to be a little more of, I wouldn't say due process, because I don't want to get into the court system of going through trial for each of these, 5 million, 10 million illegals that we have here. However,
think
I
of the
think
legal fees. Wow. Money to be made.
Well, the time, it would take thousands of years. They'd all be dead by the time you get to a conclusion. But, but I do think that there needs to be some sort of reasonable committee that's deciding, obviously quickly and judiciously, whether or not these people need to be deported or not. And I know there are some out there who say they all need to go. That's it. And that argument could be made. But I do think that some of these illegals, are productive members of society, and they want to be here and work and live the American way. And so why not look at them and say, okay, we have an opportunity. We have a pathway for you to stay here, continue to be productive, and, because you're compliant with our laws and so on. If you haven't broken any laws, with obviously illegally entering the country is breaking a law, but still, if that was your only crime, then why not have a pathway?
Well, I think the illegal immigration part, I think overwhelming amount of Americans that voted for Trump were on board with that. The Doge thing, the government waste thing, how aggressive that was just in the first couple of weeks of the administration. We just saw how much garbage there was there in the federal government. And I think anybody with a good head on their shoulders would understand that this is just wasteful all the way around, and they kept unearthing stuff all the time, and there's still probably a whole lot more out there. And of course, the trans athlete thing, that's been exhausted, I think, so much at this point. That's kind of an open and shut deal, but there's still some states that are knocking their head up against the wall over this with Trump. But Pete Hegseth, I think that's another thing that has to be brought up too, the mistakes that he's made in sharing some of that information. I think that's kind of a little bit of a black eye for the Trump administration. You have to look at it for what it is. But the tariff thing, that's a big part of the first 100 days as well that's been talked about. So, but
well, I think as far as Doge goes, I think they took an axe where they could have taken a scalpel, although I think that they had to go with the momentum that they had from winning the election. So I understand that philosophy behind it. But I'm just concerned about the fallout a year, 2, 3 years down the road of cutting some of these programs. I think a lot of them, they showed that there was so much waste, and so I think that was appropriate. And as far as Hegseth goes, it was a mistake. Admit it, move on. Okay, that won't happen again. But it did show a little bit of an amateur side, in a sense of, that I wouldn't say they don't know what they're doing, but that they made some mistakes with that, and admitting that would be.
I will say one thing: upgrading the press secretary.
That was
big upgrade,
big time, and the whole White House press corps. I mean, where you've allowed a lot of different reporters in.
They've never been able to ask questions.
Yep. So let's.
I was going to say, I think with tariffs, though, I think that a lot of people are feeling that in their 401ks, looking at it going, ooh, we think we're doing the right thing, but we're a little concerned nonetheless. And so the market is bouncing back now, and I think that there is there's sort of light at the end of the tunnel. You hope it's not a train, but where people are, they say people are coming to the table, and we kind of have to trust what the government's telling us and say, okay, maybe they are, and maybe there will be some resolution to this.
All right. That cough you hear is one of our callers who's standing by, so let's go there now and see who we have. Good morning, caller. Welcome to our show.
MAGA morning, true American patriot.
MAGA, MAGA, MAGA.
Bring it in.
First 100 days.
First 100 days is
First 100
tomorrow.
days.
Tomorrow.
Trying to make America great again. Somebody up there actually loves this country, cares about this country, cares about the American citizens.
That's a good question to ask. When we're saying "Make America Great Again," what are we referring to when America was great? What would be the
When it was
image of?
self-sufficient. When it wasn't tied in globally to other countries that hate our guts, manufacturing that we're dependent on for our pharmaceuticals and very things that we need to sustain over here. When people work for a living, before all the government handout and give to programs. Yeah, when America had a manufacturing base, we were the envy of the world. That's exactly right. When they had schools where they actually had education and prepared people to go to college or to go to work. Yeah, that's when America was great. When we didn't pander to the worthless and the whiners. Yeah.
Interesting.
This country was a whole lot better when it was tougher.
So instead of
and the weak, if they can't keep up, it's just like in nature. Guess what? You just die.
So when George Bush Sr. said a more kinder, gentler nation, that was
That was bullshit.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Excuse
Yeah.
me. Okay.
We don't need a kinder, gentler nation. We need to be a strong and independent nation.
1,000
And
points of
we need
light.
to project that strength globally and at home. But here it is. You see what's happening. Some of these judges that's been harboring these illegal alien criminals or protecting them from IC the fullest extent of the law. Here's the deal. Prosecute them, put them in prison, take their law lessons. When they get out, they'll not be able to judge a pie eating contest. Their life is over. You defy the law, you pay the price. Whatever your intent is, and I'm doing this because I believe it, we don't care. You defied the law, and you pay the price. And it needs to be like that. Set the example. Set the lead. And say anybody else that we catch harboring illegal aliens, preventing the ICE people from seizing them and deporting them, you will be prosecuted with them. Yeah, that's what needs to be. Only an un-American would do something like that. Only a demon cat would do something like that. Something I wish Trump would enact is a council on un-American activities, just like the Joe McCarthy era.
Oh, wow. You mean
Yes, sir.
go witch hunting?
Well, and we need to burn some witches. Maybe we need to go back to burning witches. Maybe that was the right answer to start with.
Wait a minute. Okay, I didn't expect that response. That's a little different.
Yeah, but these people that hate this country, that are subversive, that are working overtime to destroy it, these anarchists, these terror groups, get it out there. Let's get them. And these illegal aliens, this deportation thing don't scare them. How many times have some of these people been deported, man?
I think
One thing about it, you ain't got to deport a corpse but one time.
Trump might be scared now since they had that sit-in on the Capitol steps over the weekend. You know, they had Jeffries and others that went up there and sat there on the Capitol steps and sat in opposition to Trump's policy. So maybe Trump's going to be scared a little bit by that.
No, I'll tell you what you do. That right there, that's federal property, and send the the federal boys in there, and do it like in the old days. Turn the Belgian Mountain wires loose on them and the fire hoses. You get out of hand, we're gonna show you how to stop this. We're not gonna beg you to stop. We're going to stop you and hurt you really, really bad.
Well, they have the right to protest, though. Wouldn't you agree?
They do. But the thing about it, there should be certain areas that you cannot protest, like in front of these people's houses, swatting these people that don't go along with the socialist communist agenda. You know, and like I said, you know, they've got an agenda, they've got a plan, and it's the job of real Americans to destroy that plan. Yeah, and no, Trump's not scared, not at all. And the real patriots of this country are not scared either. We're not going to let you people destroy this country.
Okay.
We're not going to let you destroy this country.
There you go.
This country goes down. The United States of America goes down. This whole blue marble goes down. And we go into a period of extended darkness forever. This is the last beacon of freedom in this whole world. And we're not going to let it go now. Mm-mm.
Freedom.
No.
What did Reagan
So
say? Our liberty is just a. Well, I guess what did he say? Our freedom or our liberty is just
one generation away
from being extinct. Yeah.
That's exactly right. So, you know, whatever the liberal, progressive, socialist, communist, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, bring it, because we're locked and loaded and ready.
Okay.
We're locked and loaded and ready, and we're not going to let you destroy this country and take that American flag down. Not gonna happen.
Tom Holman called. Tom Holman called. He wants you to come and apply for ICE. We want you to work with him.
Well,
just kidding.
I'd be glad to work with anything that makes this country right.
There you. I know you would.
And the safety of real American citizens. We don't owe this garbage coming into this country a single thing. What we do owe is the American citizens. We owe them some safety, some protection. You know, these people come here, they bring their religion, their culture, and their little traditions, and their way of life. They come from third world garbage nations, and they are garbage, and come over here and try to project that stuff in this country. It's to dilute America, and dilute the things that we stand for. Now, if you're coming here, you're going to act right. You're going to be like we are. We're not going to go to where you are. You're coming to where we are. So don't bring your flag and your Mickey Mouse ideas, because we're not going to put up with it.
Okay.
If it ain't in that Constitution, and here it is. This is a nation built on law. What kind of law? All the law, basically, in the Western Hemisphere is based off of God's 10 Commandments.
Mm-hmm.
Not other countries' laws and traditions and the way we act. So don't come over here trying to change this, because we shall defend.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right.
Roger that.
Okay, there's the Has checking in this morning.
Anybody want to dissect that?
Well, let's see. That's a lot of dissecting there. A lot of dissecting
Did
there.
a frog in high school.
It's mornings in Meridian. We want to thank the good folks. You know, you're driving down the road, and I was behind a truck, and I was thankful nothing flew up, but they didn't have the mud flaps on, and I was afraid that maybe if we got too close, a rock could fling off of the tire and hit my windshield and crack it. But even if it did, I would already premeditatedly know where to take my vehicle, and that would be to Adam Carmichael and Adam McCree at A&A Glass.
That's right, at 217 22nd Avenue, also known as Seal Award. Parkway. Just 2 doors down from the Meridian Children's Museum. That's conveniently located. All you got to do is call them 601-693 Glass. They've got every kind of windshield in stock, and if they don't have it, they will get it for you quickly. Of course, they'll replace or they will repair. They'll work with their insurance company, fast, friendly, efficient, and they'll beat any price in town. Open 8 to 4 Monday through Friday. That is A&A Glass. 601-693 Glass.
All right, it's Mornings in Meridian, 601-485-9191. Good morning, caller.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Hey,
Oh,
Miss
good
Ruth.
morning,
Good
Miss Ruth.
morning.
Gosh, I definitely, I hope that the Navy people are listening. I mean, I have this campaign that those people out on the Navy base need to be listening to this station from 7 to 9 in the morning. I mean, they would see a lot of this stuff is unreal. But the reason why I'm calling this morning, I want to talk about that gentleman who wanted to know what was going to happen to those the new housing projects there on, is it the Highway Village people?
Right, the Highway Village people.
Yeah, a gentleman called. I think it was a couple of
It's fun to stay there.
yeah, a gentleman called a couple of days ago and wanted to know that those people that they moved out so that they could, go ahead and build and do what they wanted to do. And
I think his
Renovate,
question was
yeah.
if they're already moved out and relocated, why do they need the Highway Village?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I want to just talk to that briefly because about 7 or 8 years ago, the federal people came. We have talked about, Mr. Turner was inviting people to this particular workshop that we were going to have, and we were divided. We met at the Mount Zion Baptist Church. That's been about 8 years ago now. We met at the Mount Zion Baptist Church, and we were divided into groups, and those federal people were here. And then the groups, we were supposed to give some ideas about, especially the housing project situation, and the funds that would come to it. And if you had ideas, put your ideas on paper, and then we would go about, take a look at them. And we never heard anything about any of this until recently. So this grant with the Highway Village things, we've talked about that 7 or 8 years ago. This is not something that happened yesterday. All right. So I as a matter of fact, I even was asking Mr. Turner when he became the president joined the school board. Mr. Turner, do you think that now the housing project situation? We got the those housing projects there. George Reese Court is looking like a third world country. Don't you think that all of your energy right now should be focused on trying to do something about the housing project situation, other than slapping some paint on the walls or whatever it is that was done? And so he said no, and I talked to you about it, and I said, so why are you on the school board? Can you do all of this? Can you get all of this? You need to focus on the housing situation. He said, well, no, the thing about it is that I've talked about it with my family, and I can do both of them. And so the thing about it is, we're here. I don't know why people feel that they have to be on all of these committees. It takes time. You need to focus on things. Do you know what I mean? To make the change. Now, this was my suggestion. I'm sorry I'm so late getting to it. My suggestion was, what we need to do is with this new thing, if we get this housing, if we can get this grant and everything, what we need to do is to say, all right, you've got 4 years. You've got 4 years to bring number one, you choose them by the lottery. Then that would start, leave out all of these people with the brothers and the sisters and the mothers and the fathers and the best friends and the girlfriends and the mistresses. What needs to happen is that you get in there.
Even the mistresses.
You want as a lottery. All right.
Yeah.
So what we're going to say.
And we have 2 minutes now. 2 minutes.
Oh God! Well, see, no, I need to call again.
No, you just finish your thought. I'm just letting you know you've got 2 minutes.
No, it's not the thought; it's the plan. I'm trying to give you the plan.
We'll keep going. I'm just letting you know you have 2 minutes.
Okay, I can't do it in 2 minutes.
Well,
anyway,
this is your segment. I suggest you take advantage of it.
Yeah, no, I'll do 2 minutes and then come back. All right, so this is what This is what you need to do. They should be selected.
We're not going to be listening to your whole plan.
Pardon?
We'll not be listening to your whole plan if it's going to be a whole other segment. Just go ahead and finish.
Okay, all right.
Land the plane.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, all right.
No, but I know him.
All right. So that's number one. You get in there with the lottery. You're going to have a 24/7 babysitting service. All right, and this is not my original idea. Let me say that they are doing this all over the country. It's just that we don't know about it. All right, and it works. All right, so what we're going to have is a 24-hour babysitting service. So you will not have the excuse that you have to stay home with the children. You can't do this and this and this. The babysitting service is going to be there 24/7. You've got transportation to get you to, and you have to enroll in a class. All right, you have got to go somewhere and get a skill. And what it is that we will have transportation to pick you up, to take you to wherever it is you need to go to in order to get this skill. And then you can have, if you need a job also, that could be worked into there too.
Okay.
But you got the bus to take you there.
All right.
All right. So
Right.
we're taking away all of the excuses.
Take away the excuse.
And then in 4 years,
Uh-huh.
in 4 years, you've got to come. In 4 years, you've got to move.
All right,
In
write
4
this,
years, you
write
can
this,
only
write
stay
this
there.
all down, Ruth. Write this all down and submit it to Mr. Turner, the governor, the mayor, and we got to take a break here. Thank you for checking with us.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye. on our sister station, WKZB, The Buzz.
The Buzz.
Yes. That's right. That and other great classic hits. So we're glad you're out there. Of course, some of the birthdays today include Anne Margaret. Yes, the beautiful actress from the 60s and 70s. She's 84 years old today. Anne Margaret. Yeah, her singing and acting career spanned 5 decades, starting in 1961 when she was initially billed as a female version of Elvis Presley. Among her many acting awards, she got 4 Golden Globes and an Emmy. So there you go. Other birthdays. So we have Jessica Alba, actress, 44. Penelope Cruz, 51. And let's see, we've got TV personality and comedian Jay Leno, 75 years old today.
Former Tonight Show host.
I know it.
Back when late night was at its last stage of being funny.
That's right. Enjoyed some Jay Leno, even though, I still miss my Johnny Carson, but he was an okay replacement for that. But boy, haven't watched much late night comedy shows here lately.
I do.
Gutfeld.
Yes.
Oh, well,
that's about the only one, right?
that one's got some meat to it, though. All right, we've got good. Well, they all had, it was fun when you could do comedy and it was nice bipartisan comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't
make fun of everybody. Yes,
it
that's
was,
what it's all about.
Didn't have the obvious agenda.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. But television now is partisan. You choose your channels based on your politics these days.
That's right.
And that's the way it goes.
And that's
It's
why
Mornings
all those other channels are failing.
That's right. Let's go to the phone lines here at Mornings in Meridian, 601-485-9191. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hello, sir.
Citizen Sully.
This is a public service announcement.
All right.
Rob, I still got it.
You still got it.
I still got it.
Well, they haven't been able to give you anything for it?
Maybe some antibiotics? I don't know.
Maybe some ointment?
Yeah.
Well, once again, headed to the gym. When I get to the gym, I was going to run by the government complex and take care of a bill. And my boss just called me and says, "You can't do that today. They're closed." I just read on social media that all the offices are closed today.
Yeah.
For Confederate Memorial Day?
Confederate Memorial Day.
No, they're not.
Oh.
County offices closed Good Friday. So, Rob, just like the silverware, I'm right, she's wrong.
Oh, ouch.
Just like the silverware drawer that you rearranged at home, you were right and she was wrong.
Absolutely.
I might advise you, Citizen Solly, to whatever,
dangerous.
even if you determine that your way is the wisest, don't ever use it in the context of her being wrong.
Well, she's not in the vehicle with me. She's in hers, and I'm sure she's probably listening to something.
Okay.
That's why you feel so safe. That makes sense.
That's why he remodeled that doghouse outside. It must be real comfy.
I know nobody in this community would ever snitch on me. Chuck.
Oh, wow. Call him out.
The
Yeah.
gauntlet's been laid down.
So the government offices are open today.
County government is open today.
County government.
County government.
They took Good Friday off.
Okay.
Okay.
So I wonder if city government's open.
I think city offices are closed today, I think.
They are. I believe the city is, yeah.
City and state.
City and state for Confederate Memorial Day.
Okay.
Correct.
Interesting.
I think it's nice to honor the folks that have fallen, regardless of which side you're on. That's all right. Yeah, that's good.
Perhaps my stance on being right and wrong is why I didn't get a birthday present this weekend.
I was going to ask about that. How did the birthday weekend go?
Had a good meal. Had a good day of doing nothing. Did get my 707-pound deadlift leg press in.
Nice.
There you
Got
go.
it on video. If anybody wants to dispute it.
What do you do with what's your limit on your overhead lift? Lifting over over your head?
Well, due to the fact that I've had my right shoulder reconstructed with ceramic screws and stuff, I don't know real heavy.
I was about to say, we wouldn't take a chance on
That's
that.
probably wise.
Yeah.
Good.
Dr.
Good.
Sonny Rush, many years ago when he did that surgery, he said, I don't want you to pick up anything above your head.
Okay.
You know, again, what the doctors don't know won't hurt them.
But it will damage you.
Someday.
At some point, yeah.
Yeah. Well, good on you, Sheriff. Now, we were doing all this, were we celebrating 7-0? No, 6-8?
No, sir.
7-0.
7-0.
Okay, look at you. 7-0 and 700 pounds.
Yes, sir. You know, again, had to do that 50, 60, and now 70. So it's time to start planning for that number 80.
Yeah.
Now, I guess your grandchildren were there to celebrate with you?
Well, my grandson was there when I did the leg press.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
You know, they are busy on their own right now. So being over at Papa's house for cake and ice cream didn't happen.
Oh.
Wow. Busy and on their own.
Well, it just means he brings
We would have come over.
He just
I mean,
bring it by here. We could have a post birthday celebration, you know.
Need something to go with this second cup of coffee.
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I just want to call in with that PSA to let everybody know that
Yeah.
a lot of the county offices are open. If you need to take care of business in the county government, they are open today.
Or just to go by and see the beautiful building that you paid for.
Yes.
You know, it just occurred to me since I was planning on cashing a check. What's the bank statuses? What's the status of
They're
the
open.
bank?
They're open.
Yeah.
They're open. Okay, good. All right, good.
Just,
All right.
just government offices.
But you know, the banks, take every opportunity. I was just wondering.
that is true. That is true.
Yeah. All right, we're having a cleanup day. All right, banks are closed. No. Anyway, I'm having fun with all banks. Not just
Your equal
one.
opportunity.
Equal opportunity banks.
Fun
that's
with banks. It's
Yep.
fun with Bank Monday, right?
the Earth's Bounty is going to be Saturday. Well, banks are closed Friday. No. No. Just kidding. Government offices are just about as bad, too. So thanks for that PSA, Citizen Solly. Once again, serving the public even in your retirement.
I even got the opportunity to call 911 this past Saturday, guys.
What?
That's exciting.
Well, it got lonely, did you?
A friend of mine just happened to be at Pine Springs Landing when the gentleman had the difficulty backing the pontoon boat into the lake.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Parked his vehicle in the water.
Whoops.
Now, your friend was there, but you called 911.
Yeah, he sent me a picture of it, and I called him. I said, "Is this right now?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, let me get off and call 911."
Well, now why?
911.
That was my big question. Why didn't your friend, who took all the time to snap that and send it to you, why didn't he call 911?
Because he says he knew somebody that could get through dispatch.
Oh, okay, all right. So I'm glad I've got your cell phone, Citizen Solly, because I'll just expedite my request for law enforcement or first response by calling you first and let you send it on down the line.
Trust me, sir, it happens on a regular basis.
I imagine.
Okay, there you have it. All right. Well, fortunately, I haven't had to call you lately.
There you go.
Yep. And I've been wearing my seatbelt.
It was kind of funny when I called dispatch, and they recognized the number, and they answered the phone with a joyful, "Hey, sir, how you doing?" I said, "Great." I said, "By any chance, has anybody called you about a vehicle in the water at Oak Tibby?" The tone of the dispatcher's voice immediately changed, went back into that. Okay, let's get the information here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, 911. What's your emergency? I don't know if I get that.
I think it's where's your emergency? That's what they ask.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know a dispatcher. That's what they say.
Well, good job, Citizen Solly. Thank you for being out there, and thanks for checking in with us. We appreciate it very much.
Well, you guys take care. Today is leg day, so come join me at the gym, and we'll do a light leg workout today.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, like they too.
And just remember, the boss, whenever she might be concerned, remember, he is.
Always.
There we go. There we go. All right. We got that settled this morning. Thanks for the call, Sheriff. Citizen.
You guys have a blessed day.
Sheriff retired. Yeah, all that.
Emeritus. I don't know.
Emeritus? I don't know.
He'll answer at anything.
His name's on a building downtown. I know that.
Be nice.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you who else has got their name on the building. It's the Barber and Sons Plumbing. It's right there on 26th Avenue and 12th Street. You'll see the sign, Barber and Sons.
1123 26th Avenue. That's right. That's where you will find the plumbing headquarters here in town. It's where all the plumbers go for their supplies, and it's where you should go too. That's Barber and Sons Plumbing, and they're kind of pirate-like down there as well. Well, Gary Barber is an expert in all things plumbing. You know, if you bring your part down there or just take a picture of the part that's broken, he's going to sell you the right part, give you detailed instructions on how to repair it. Of course, you can always call them at 601-482-7023, and they will come to your home or business and make those repairs themselves. So either you can do it or they can. Either way, it's going to be done right with Barber and Sons Plumbing. They've been in business for over 80 years. I think they know what they're doing at this point. Go see him, 1123 26th Avenue, 601-482-7023.
Well, somebody put this up on social media after we talked about the Sanders kid going so late in the draft.
Right.
The Colorado social media accounts were saying, they should retire the number 2 at Colorado, Shedeur Sanders, and all this other kind of stuff. And somebody responded, 13-12 overall record as quarterback, 0-1 record in the bowl games, 1-8 versus the top 25. Saved by his daddy. Check mark. What a career. I was like, wow, that stings.
Saved by his daddy.
Oh.
He's going to be,
that hurts, man.
He's going to be resilient, but he's going to have a little tough road to hoe.
They did retire his number there, though, I believe.
And
I don't think didn't Cordell play there as well?
I think so.
I don't think they retired his. So, there's been a lot of other great players at Colorado.
Yeah, but 13-12 overall record, 0-1 in a bowl game, and 1-8 versus the top 25. Come on, man.
But the kid has talent. I don't think you can deny that, but I think there's a lot of baggage that goes with that. Most of that baggage named Dion.
Yep.
So,
Dion.
prime time baggage is what
And he
you
wasn't
got.
exactly the softest of speakers when he played.
Dion.
He was outspoken. People loved him, though. That was great. But anyway, we'll see how it develops.
I
up
thought
there
that
in
was
Cleveland.
funny. I saw that someone said that to me. I said that was hilarious. So.
Got an unrelated story of about 50 to 100 people doing the wrong thing at the right place at the right time. A Brinks armored truck traveling on South Austin Boulevard in Oak Park, Illinois, had an unexpected problem when the back doors opened, causing 3 bags of cash to fall onto the roadway.
That's why I follow those trucks around.
3 bags.
Yeah.
Witnesses reported that between 50 and 100 individuals seized the opportunity. Collecting the estimated total of amount taken was about $300,000.
Not too shabby.
So they picked up the scattered money and fled the scene on foot and in vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, is that what you do if you see a armored truck? If we should happen to have an armored truck coming down 22nd Avenue and, the doors fling open and cash falls out, we're supposed to just grab it and run? Is that what we do?
Oh, walk. But yeah, drive away. Probably.
All the staff would be like, tips!
Yeah, exactly. Well, they didn't lock the door. It's their fault.
It's their fault.
There we go.
Of course not.
And of course,
The
that's just an interesting little story there up in Illinois there. Or you might like this one. A Florida church pastor.
Florida.
This is a church pastor in Florida. Gives a sermon this weekend called "The Gospel According to Taylor Swift."
No, good God.
Are you saying you don't want your pastor to replicate what this pastor did? Florida church entered a new era yesterday with a gospel according to Taylor Swift. Coral Gables Congregational United Church of Christ senior pastor Lori Hafner says it's easy. Tailoring a sermon around Swift's empowering music.
Wow.
Have you read some of the lyrics of that music?
I think I've heard one song. By
The
Taylor Swift.
hour-long music-filled service was packed.
Oh.
Last year, she did a sermon also based on Jimmy Buffett's music and says it did attract some new members. You can see the service on the church's website. So if you feel like hearing the gospel according to Swift, you can go to that church's website and watch.
And next week we'll be doing one on Black Sabbath.
Yeah, right.
The Gospel According to Black Sabbath.
On
and
Sabbath.
Ozzy Osbourne, part of that. But anyway.
They're empowering
Wow,
messages.
yeah, okay. All right.
Trying to get butts in the pews, what they're doing.
I'm telling you, what would be some
Wrong kind of butts.
Can you think of a spiritually empowering song that Taylor Swift would have? Nothing, not a particular one comes to mind. How would you? And I guess
I
you
don't really know any Taylor Swift songs.
Exactly.
Well, if you would,
kind of at a loss.
if you would visit the website then for the Congregational United Church of Christ there in Coral Gables, you could probably learn a bunch of them.
I think I'm going to rely on that old King James version over there on the desk.
Don't rely upon it.
I tell you what, I would like to suggest that we take this break, come right back, and we'll talk about more.
Just don't play Taylor Swift music.
Please don't.
Okay.
Chrissy Hine.
We have a request line. We have a request line. Do not play.
Do not.
It's the do not
Anything
play
but.
request line. All right, we'll be right back. Travis. You can hear him on our sister station, WUCL. That's 105.7.
The legend.
That's the one. I'll tell you who's a legend, Jeffrey Wilson, State Farm Insurance. There's a legend.
He is a legend, and
He
here's
is.
the deal. When you combine your home and auto with State Farm, you can save an average. This is an average. Could be more.
Could be less.
Well, but could be more. Let's be positive.
I like that positive attitude.
$889. Could be $890. Could be $900. Might even be
Ooh.
$1,000. You never know.
I hear 1,001.
But the only way to find out is to go see Jeffrey Wilson and let him combine your home and auto and save today. Give him a call, 601-483-8253. Of course, he's got a great office there at 2401 Highway 39 North. He's got that little red car out front. You know where he is. He's conveniently located. And here's the deal. You need to sit down with your insurance agent at least once a year. Figure out all your needs. He's going to guide you through that. You might drop some insurance. You might need to add a little bit so that you got the coverage you need should something catastrophic happen. And Jeffrey Wilson is the guy to do that. And you really need to know your insurance agent. And he's all over town. He's like a good neighbor. Give him a call today, 601-483-8253. Jeffrey Wilson, like a good neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Neighbor. Jeffrey Wilson is there.
Hey, that sounds good. We've got time for just a quick call. Let's take it now. Good morning, caller. Welcome to our show.
Good morning, guys.
Good.
All right, thanks for calling. We're going to take a break for about 22
that
hours now.
The show.
All right. What's up, Lefty?
Lefty had a comment to make about the clogging up the courts with the illegal aliens.
Yeah.
It shouldn't take too long. I mean, how quick can it say, were you in the country illegally? Yes. Boom, next. Boom, next.
Uh-huh.
It'll be as quick as a mimeograph machine, if y'all remember what a mimeograph machine is.
Oh, I remember that smell so well. Mimeograph chemicals. Love.
I think you inhaled a few too many of those in your youth.
Love visiting the principal's office. You got to go by the mimeograph machine.
Yeah, exhale before you go in there.
That would get you ready to meet with the principal.
Feeling good now.
But anyway, that was just my thought. I'm sure Chuck would agree with that synopsis.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, I mean, what else could you ask them? Like,
there you go.
are you in the country illegally? Yes. Okay.
Well, Lefty, we're out of time, but thanks for the phone call.
All right. See y'all tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow it is. Until then, God bless. And what should we say to everybody in their purchases?
Buy local.
That's great. We'll see you tomorrow.